Is anything real?
Hey, Vsauce, Michael here. Where are your fingers? Seriously, it's a pretty easy question. You should be able to answer it. But how do you know? How does anyone know anything? You might say, well, I know where my fingers are. I'm looking right at them. Or I can touch them. I can feel them. They're right here. And that's good. Your sense...
My fingers are my fingers because I say they're my fingers. And fingers is just a word for what this looks like. Someone could call these toes. I mean, if they don't speak the same language, there might be a translation difference. Imagine you speak another language and you have a different name for this. That doesn't mean that it's also not my fingers, but it's also, there's also a different word for it, you know what I mean?
Have way more than the usual 5 senses we talk about.
Imagine animals use echolocation. They can see x-rays, they can see all these different parts of light, but we can't. We can only sense it through computers. Like, how interesting is that? Like, the certain crazy beautiful pictures we see of our universe are just us putting filters on stuff that we can't usually see, so we have to match it to the near closest color that it would be, because our visible light, we're on a certain spectrum, but then there's all of this, and it's just we can't see it because we have certain shit in our eye, bro. Honestly, low key, bro, nothing is real. It's just, no, okay, things are real, except you only see and you feel and you do all this because you have built-in stuff to translate that to something. If you had no brain, but you could still somehow move and touch stuff, it just wouldn't compute to anything. But since we have our brain, it translates. It's almost like taking a bunch of jumbled bits and translating it into a sentence. That's how almost like how it works. You touch something, and that feedback goes all the way through your arm, all the way up to your head, and bro, I don't know why I'm looking at this Pop-Tart when I'm explaining this. It's almost like the universe. Yeah, bro. We make our own reality.
For instance, your kinesthetic sense, proprioception. This is what the police evaluate during a field sobriety test. It allows you to tell where your fingers and arms and head and legs and your body is all in relation to each other without having to look or touch other things. We have way more than 5 senses. We have at least twice as many, and then some. But they're not perfect.
Whoa.
There are optical illusions, audio illusions, perfect. There are optical illusions.
Optical illusions, center squares are the same color. Yeah, fucking obviously.
Audio illusions, temperature, sensation illusions, even tactile illusions. Can you turn your tongue upside down? If so, perfect. Try this. Run your finger along the outer edge of the tip of your...
I know this trick. You turn your tongue upside down and it feels like whatever way you're coming from, I'm going from right to left, but it's gonna feel like left to right. Look. It is really weird. I've done it before. I don't know why that happens though. It's just like when people wear upside down glasses, then eventually they just like wake up one day and like their vision like actually rotates and like they actually see normally again. It's like so cool.
Upside down tongue. Your tongue will be able to feel your finger. Our brains never needed to develop an understanding of upside down tongue touch. So when you touch the right side of your tongue, when it's flipped over to your left side, you perceive a sensation on the opposite side where your tongue usually is, but isn't when it's upside down. It's pretty freaky and cool and a little humbling because it shows the limits of the accuracy of our senses. The only tools we have to get what's out there.
Okay, it's not really I don't think it's an accuracy issue. It's almost like it's auto-correcting what you're doing until it realizes it's right. It's just trial and error, bro.
In here.
It's negative feedback loops, bro.
Philosophy of knowledge, the study of knowing, is called epistemology. Plato famously said that the things we know are things that are true, that we believe, and that we have justification for believing. Those justifications might be irrational, or they might be rational, they might be based on proof, but don't get too confident because proven is not a synonym for true. Luckily, there are things that we can know without needing proof, without needing to even leave the house.
We got fucking popcorn, man. I was looking all over my house for this shit.
Things that we can know as true by reason alone. These are things that we know a priori. An example would be the statement, all bachelors are unmarried. I don't have to go survey every bachelor on Earth to know that that is true. All bachelors are unmarried because that's how we define the word bachelor. Of course, you have to know what the words bachelor and unmarried mean in the first place. Oh, you do? Okay, perfect, that's great. But how do you know? This time, I mean functionally. How do you know? Where is knowledge biologically in the brain? What are memories made out of? We are a long way from being able to answer that question completely. What we call a memory is likely made up of many different complex relationships all over the brain between lots of brain cells, neurons. A major cellular mechanism thought to underlie the formation of memories is long-term potentiation, or LTP. When one neuron stimulates another neuron repeatedly, that signal can be enhanced over time, LTP, wiring them more strongly together, and that connection can last a long time, even an entire lifetime. A collection of different brain cells, neurons, that fire together in a particular order over and over again frequently and repeatedly can achieve long-term
Turn the lights off. Let's see what it would look like.
scope or particle accelerators.
Fuck 'em.
The
I'm so
final
stupid.
stop for all of that information is ultimately you. You are alone in your own brain, which technically makes it impossible to prove that anything else exists. It's called the egocentric predicament. Everything you know about the world out there depends on and is created inside your brain. This mattered so much to Charles Sanders Peirce that he drew a line between reality, the way the universe truly is, and what he called the phaneron, the world as filtered through our senses and bodies, the only information we can get. If you want to speak with certainty, you live in, that is, you react to and
This is my
experience.
this is my non-greasy hand, by the way. I haven't eaten popcorn with this hand. I have not.
Experience your phaneron, not reality. The belief that only you exist and everything else, food, the universe, your friends, are all figments of your mind, is called solipsism.
I feel like I've heard of
There
that.
is no way to convince a solipsist that the outside world is real. And there is no way to convince someone who doubts that the universe wasn't created just 3 seconds ago, along with all of our memories. It's a frightening realization that we don't always know how to deal with. There's even the Matrix defense. In 2002, Tonda Lynn Ansley shot and killed her landlady. She argued that she believed she was in the Matrix, that her crimes weren't real. By using the Matrix defense, she was found not guilty.
What?
Reason of insanity.
What? Not guilty just because she believes something? Insanity.
Because the opposite view is just way more healthy and common. It's called realism. Realism is the belief that the outside world exists independently of your own phaneron. Rocks and stars and Thora Birch would continue to exist even if you weren't around to experience them. But you cannot know realism is true. All you can do is believe. Martin Gardner, a great source for
Is this
math magic
facts?
tricks, explained
Type
that
1
he
if
is
it's
not
facts,
a
type 2 if you
solipsist
disagree
because
with me, you
realism
fucking
is
hate me.
just way more convenient and healthy, and it works. As to whether it bothered him that he could never know realism was true, he wrote, "If you ask me to tell you anything about the nature of what lies beyond the phaneron, my answer is, how should I know? I am not dismayed by ultimate mysteries. I can no more grasp what is behind such questions as my cat can understand what is behind the clatter I make on
Yeah,
whatever
you're
they
fucking
can.
banned.
Cat can understand what is behind the clatter I make while I type this paragraph. Humble stuff. What strikes me is the cat. Cats do not understand keyboards, but they know that keyboards are a fun place to be. It's a great way to get the attention of a human. They're warm and exciting, surrounded by noises and flashing lights. Plus, cats love to get their scent on whatever they can, a mark of their existence. We aren't that much different, except instead of keyboards, we have the mysteries of the universe. We will never be able to understand all of them. We won't be able to ever answer every single question, but walking around in those questions, exploring them, is fun. It feels good. And as always, thanks for watching.
Man, that was a W video. I kind of got sidetracked, but yo, if you exist, drop a like.